What's happening? I want to thank you for coming by to Vape with the Viking. So today, I got basically part 2 of the ultimate Viking setup. Kind of. So we got another Vaperz Cloud product. We have the Asgard, which I picked up straight from Vaperz Cloud. It is a 30mm RDA, and we will definitely get into all the details, pros, cons, put a build in it, all that kind of good stuff. But as usual, Vikings Advocacy Minute. Remember, Kasa, 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 Kasa. Plenty of other sites out there as well. Get informed. It's the thing to do. It's the cool thing to do. So, I mean, there are Facebook groups out there, and just get informed. You don't want to get snowballed by what's happening out there, and when it affects you, the days of when something affects you and you're like, well, I didn't see that coming. That should hopefully be, at least my part is to hopefully make that a thing of the past. Information is key. Go out there, don't have to get involved, but please be informed. All right, so we'll get back into the Asgard here. So like I said, 30mm RDA, squawkable, from Vaperz Cloud. Two color combinations. They have basically a matte, flat black, and they do have a stainless. So, but enough chit-chatting up here. Let's drop the hammer on the Asgard.
Alright, so what I have for you today is by Vaperz Cloud, the Asgard RDA. So to kind of continue on with their tribute to Norwegian mythology, Norse mythology, they have just released this 30mm RDA. So, and if you noticed before in their line, they had the Stormbreaker triple parallel mech mod, which of course Stormbreaker was in mythology Thor's axe. And then you also have the Valhalla RDA, which is their 38mm, which of course is the realm of the dead, or the great feast hall, where all warriors want to go. And then of course now we have Asgard, which is the home or realm of the Asgardians, or Norse gods. Thor, Loki, Odin, all of them. So, nice little homage to that culture. Fits my channel really well. Alright, so what you get in the pouch, and it's one of those kind of velveteen feeling or felt feeling pouches, and that embroidery is super awesome. That's really cool. So shout out to Brian and Vaperz Clouds for that touch. That's really cool. Usually it's like some kind of sticker or some kind of like almost like vinyl or goo on there or whatever, but this is actually stitched. You can see the stitching, so really cool. So you get your RDA, and then in here everything's in pouches, but I've already taken them out of pouches. So you'll get an accessory bag and runaway drip tips. You'll get an accessory pouch that'll have the O-rings, your 2 outer O-rings, 1 thicker O-ring for something we'll get into, and then your Allen and a bunch of grub screws. And you will also get a 510 pin. We'll actually show what that is a little later here. And then of course you'll get your drip tip. This is actually, show it side by side, because this is the one that comes with on its stock, which is alright. I don't like this little edge thing here. Here's the other one it comes with, and I haven't got it fully on there yet. It is bigger in diameter by far, but since it's nice and rounded and smooth, in my opinion, this fits my vaping style and my lips a whole lot better. So the nice thing is they did give you a choice though, something with a little bit smaller of a bore with a taper, or something larger bore but smoother. So, and then this thing, big hunk of what could this be? This is just a huge hunk of metal, machined nicely. Got a nice little camphor in it, or sorry if you're not a metal worker, a camphor or angle into it. Did it just send a sample chunk? No. What this is this is already a good size RDA, But if you want it to be even better sized, you can make this 30 millimeter RDA into now a 38. So that is a beauty ring. So if you ever want to know what a beauty ring for just a big honkin' RDA looks like, there you go. Big chunk of metal. That's what it looks like. Oh, stuff's still wet from the ultrasonic. But I would never think something this size would need a beauty ring, and if it did, it would not look all that great. That actually looks pretty awesome, actually. Did a really good job with that. That little chamfer or angle into there just makes what otherwise looks like a very simple piece of round metal make that look pretty cool. So very cool, very awesome. I like that. So again, Brian, good job, and all the Vaperz Cloud people. But we'll get to the bottom here. So on the bottom you'll have Vaperz Cloud, and there we go, and your serial number. I got 675, and you'll notice it's already set up to pre-squonk. So what we'll do here real quick before we get all the way into it, I'll show you that, because I will not be squonking with this guy because I do not have a squonk that will hold this thing. All right, so you open up your pouch, of course, and then the small looking screw or stud out of all of them is going to be the one that you're after right now. It's this little tiny guy right here, because that is basically your 510 grub stud. So that's all that guy is right there. Stop focusing on everything else. Well, of course you know what a screw looks like, but there you go. So you just put it on your Allen here, and put it in there just like that. Tighten it down. All right. And now we're set up to drip. So you do, of course, have your hybrid save 510, and then your negatives is here as well. All right. So we'll put this on the stand here. This is one of Bearded Viking's Skahulk. I don't know if I ever say that right. Yeah, Skulk. Brent, what is it called? Skahulk or Sahulk? I can never remember. One of his custom atomizer stands. Pretty awesome. Little gold with some gold flecking in there. Bearded Viking customs on the back. Guy is an absolute artist wizard. All right, so we're going to pull this top cap off, and you'll see there's the two big O-rings for your base deck. There's the deck. We'll get to that here in just a second. Take out your drip tip, and then you'll see there's like Ultim up here with the O-ring in there, and it's like, well, okay, that's at first it's like, well, okay, well, that keeps it from getting really hot. It's not what it's for. If you actually turn that guy around, you'll see big Ultim insert. So take and give it a pull here, or not. Then, of course, on the outside you have Asgard, Vaperz Cloud, and then your honeycomb air filter. Honeycomb. And you have your honeycomb air inlets. All right, so and then there you have your Ultim insert, which actually, again, houses your drip tip O-ring, but also you'll see it has a top row of like 4 of those honeycombs, and then a slot at the bottom. And if you could see, let's see if it'll focus. Yeah, it does pretty well. Those honeycombs are at a good angle, a good would almost say that's 45. It might even actually be a little more extreme than 45. So we'll say 45. 45-degree angle going down, and then you have your additional slot there. And then on the inside here, you'll see there's like a little notch system in there. See the Ultim here has these two little notches. That's why I was fighting with it. I keep forgetting about those little notches in there. But also, if you look on the inside, that is just incredibly well machined. There might be a little bit of here and there discoloration from the ultrasonicing, but other than that, that is completely clean and clear. Like, yeah, there's a spot right there. But that is a really good machining. All right. So you'll put that back in there, and you'll probably have to twist and turn to feel for it. Okay, so then you'll take and it'll click. Probably won't be able to hear it, but it will click into its spot, into its space. Now you'll also see it's got kind of a funky shape, and then it's got a notch on each side as well. There. And what that's going to be is when we get to the deck here, you'll see the deck is shaped just like the insert. And then you'll see there's two notches right there. So it's literally going to go on there just like that, and then that's how you're going to adjust your airflow, because it's going to lock onto that Ultim and actually lock onto the deck. So your top cap will just spin freely and get to your air here. We'll take a look at that here in just a sec. We'll get to the deck here. It is a pretty plain, simple deck. Looks like it's just like almost like a piston that's been milled out. And that's about it. You got your two O-rings here. Like I said, your little locks here. You have your positive side there. You have your peak insulator running in there as well. And then you have your post screws here and your very, very beefy juice wells down in through here. And if you were to squawk, it literally is just going to be one of those actions where it just comes up and then floods the deck. That's all it's going to do. So machining is definitely, it's not a polish. It's got kind of that more that texture or tooling look, which on the outside looks really nice and polished. So you could definitely tell on the inside they left it that way, and I dig it. I like that. Now that's going to be subjective as well, but kind of like almost little swirl grainy patterns. They are flatheads. So we'll take a look here real quick and see how smooth those guys are. Yeah, very good, very smooth. Yep. All right. All right, so next thing we want to look at, since this is basically a postless design on the deck, we're going to take a coily tool, which I won from Coily. Look at that. A little Mad Viking action. And take a look at roughly what we're going to run these at. So just take the side of the coily tool and just take and measure the block here, which you could probably get away with a 5.5. I would probably, yep, nope. That's the only bad thing about that, is it's really hard to get this down in there. I would definitely say, yeah, it sinks a whole lot better into 6. It looks like there might be a little bit of a gap, but 5.5 just looks way, yeah, it's not going to work. So yeah, so you're going to use that. Now you put your coils in here and you clip them to here, and they should drop in just fine, because you're going to run them here and here. So we're going to go ahead and get this. We've already done all the kind of close up to it. We're going to take and put some coils in it. I have a pack right here of some Gatorback. That was my bad. Some Gatorback aliens. They are 1-1 when they're all done. Some beautiful little alien action going on there. So we'll run those. We'll cut those at 6. Cotton, we'll put some cotton in there. Throw some Dark Star, red slush, and we will put it on the Stormbreaker. So let's get the coils done, wick it up, juice it up, come back up top. I will give you my thoughts and tell you where to get your Asgard RDA.
All right. So, the Asgard. Thoughts of this guy. First off, Brian and his team. Wow. So you know, of course, I'm a big fan of the Valhalla, big 38 millimeter RDA that they created. The thing with the Valhalla, I'm not saying it's a novelty, but the device works. It's good. Definitely pump out some clouds in the right build. But you know, it's a lot of air. It's a big chamber, so I don't get a ton of flavor off of it. So I usually, when I put juice in it and I use it, especially in the lives, I tend to put like cola flavors and stuff like that in there, just because those to me are a strong flavor. So you can have a lot of air in there and you'll still get flavor. So not a big deal. This thing, I wouldn't say shocked me, but surprisingly went well for me, because it is a bigger RDA. I'm used to a lot of 22 millimeters, and 24s. I don't even really do many 25s. I'm sitting there looking around, and it's like, I don't think I really got any 25s. I do have a couple RDAs to review that have 25 millimeter caps that come with them. So, but even like the Bonza 1.5, I didn't even get the 25 millimeter cap that came out later. I just 24 is okay with me. 24 and 22. So I figured this thing was going to be not really novelty per se, but not going to be able to deliver me a decent amount of flavor. I was wrong. Way, way wrong. So, couple little details that I probably missed in dive downs because I tend to do that. I need to start getting them locked into memory, so I do this with all of the devices. But the juice well, it is a 10 millimeter juice well. I did look that up. And the air holes, it's a total of 48 air holes on this guy at I believe it was 1 millimeter, if I remember right. 1 millimeter or half millimeter, one of the two. I don't know. I seriously need to get one of the measuring things. Can't even remember the name of them now. Oh well. But the big key with this, I think what's going on with the flavor is you saw in the dive down, the actual deck and everything is actually kind of more condensed because it's the block is here and then it's got the cutout and then that's where your coils go and all that. But also that Ultim, that 30-degree angle, what it's supposed to do is that diffuser is what Vaperz Cloud is calling it, is literally supposed to make sure to not only build pressure in there, but make sure it rolls under the coil so that you can get all that flavor that, you know, when you vape, of course, you've seen what a coil is. We see the vapor production, we see the popping and all that. And a lot of people concentrate on what's coming out the top. Well, it's doing the same at the bottom too. I mean, you're heating the whole wire. So to be able to not only get that stuff that's coming up already, but also to roll under and get it from under the coil, I think that's where this thing is delivering pretty amazing flavor. I've tried custards. The only ones I really haven't tried are like the super sweet type of juices. Like right now, what I'm running in it is, of course, yes, Dark Star. I got some purple slush in it now, and I mean, on top of the Stormbreaker, so it's mechanical, so we're good to go. So yeah, just chucking clouds. It's chucking clouds, but they're tasty clouds. So that's the key for me. You can chuck clouds all day long. It's not really a lot of flavor. I'm like, meh. But you know, like somebody had actually asked in a live the other day, thought this was going to be the home of the Valhalla. Yeah, Valhalla fits on there. I like Valhalla. I like the looks of it. I like the Valkyrie and all that on there, but I mean, it's just flavor. Come on, there's no substitute. The other thing I almost forgot and didn't point out, I think in the dive down, I called the two small little grub screws off to the side that there was for the negative block. Well, I started really getting to looking at it, and it's like, well, they're not connected to anything. And I did actually see Bogan's review real briefly on it at work the other night, and he had a bit of information I didn't even know about, but they're actually just basically holders for your, they call it like a quick change, I believe, squonk grub screw. So as you saw them dive down, all you do to make it squonkable or not, instead of removing the whole 510, which can loosen up, you know, your positive and mess with your coil if it's already placed in there, so on and so forth, they made it so you just take in and out that little grub screw, which I love that. That's awesome. There was another device I had not too long ago that did basically the same thing and just makes that so much better in my opinion. But those two off to the side under that deck there, they are just two extras, and that's just where you hold them so you don't ever lose them. So they're not in a little baggie that can get lost or accidentally tossed out. So that was a really good idea. And I think in the dive down, can't remember, but it's just an 810 top. I can't remember if I said it was proprietary or not, but I did try some 810s to it, and it's just a standard 810. So, but the kind of like in a dive down, I went the more of the rounded feel one, and it, you know, feels a lot better in my opinion than the other one. But of course, that's subjective. So, where can you get it? I got mine, like I said, straight from Vaperz Cloud, $60. said they have it in a matte black, and then they have it in a stainless as well. And there is rumor that they are going to, if you don't need or have anything to fit something that big, they are possibly making a 24 or 25 millimeter version of it. I'd get excited because the flavor on a 30 is great. So it's got to be the same, if not better, when they shrink it down even more. So that is definitely one, if you can, pre-order that guy, because I know I will be. So, but yeah, you know, the segment of pros and cons. Man, cons. Because I have told you nothing but pros. Con. Okay, con. I'm reaching, but the Asgard. I think it could have either been etched in a bit deeper, because it shows up really well in the stainless. The black, not so much. So either a deeper etch, or I know some people hate it, but I thought it would have been pretty cool. Maybe even if they like did the like the Rebirth. A couple other ones out there that drop dead that have the bare stainless like showing, maybe something like that. So yeah, so an aesthetic con for this RDA. That's all I got for that one. So, but I do want to thank each and every one of you for coming by to Vape with the Viking, and I'll check you later.